For that. Hi, everyone. I'm Zach Zilakakis with Product Marketing here at Apstra. Welcome to Apstra session at Network Field Day 23. We're glad to have you join us today. We have several sessions and demos today that we're excited to share with you, and they include eliminating EVPN complexity with reliable automation, how to perform fast and reliable rollbacks with Intent Time Voyager, visualizing traffic trends for optimal network performance with heat map and headroom views. And the fourth one, how Apstra manages and automates enterprise sonic. Each of these sessions will demonstrate how Apstra introduces simplicity and reliability through automation and validation. And this all begins with day zero deployment and operations of the network. But those are just words, right? So what really makes, what do you mean, Zach? And how is this unique? What makes you unique in your approach and delivery? And that's what you're going to find out today. So when we look at day zero operations and deployment, what I mentioned earlier, operations must start at day zero. This is imperative to the success of any deployment to understand what goes on later in the deployment. So here at Apstra, it's all about day zero, design, build, and then the operations focus on day zero as well. So, when you're deploying your network from the reference design to the pre-validation, how is it being designed? All that matters later on when you go to operate this network, when you get into day two and beyond. The deployment. So taking what you designed and what you were building and putting that into production and then running more tests against that and understanding that, yes, this is operating like I think it should operate. This is as I intended it to operate. Again, focusing on that operations that began at day zero with your design and build. And then taking that into day two. So now we've laid that groundwork. You'll hear a lot about day two operations from a lot of vendors, but it really should be more around day zero operations along with the design and the build. It should all begin at day zero for success. And then the biggest part of this is at that point, we now have a single source of truth, and I'll touch on that in a minute. But now we got the continuous automation and validation from day zero through day two, which enables that simplicity and that reliability of the network that I was just speaking about, to ensure that the network is in compliance and to continually analyze the network to ensure that the network is operating as we intended it to operate. So this notion of operations begin at day zero is a big, big belief of ours here at Apstra and something you'll hear more about. We believe in the industry as well. There's also this notion of single source of truth that I just mentioned, and how does this work? So as I walk through this briefly, just remember, as we go through these demos today, you'll hear about this as well, our intent-based analytics. So the ability to take network events, it could be thousands of events, could be 10,000 events, and reduce that noise and have that filter through a single source of truth. And this is important. You will hear some vendors talk about a single source of truth, but it's fed by other sources of truth. At that point, what you have is you have a data lake, and you can't act on stale data, and that's what comes out of a data lake. It's great for machine learning and ML ops, but it doesn't do anything for real-time action, and that's what everyone's objective is here. So Apstra is unique in our approach, our day zero operational and deployment approach, as well as our IBA, intent-based analytics, with our single source of truth. And then extracting knowledge out of that. So I have all this data in there, but what does it mean to me? What does it really, why does it matter? And how do I act on that? And this goes back to starting at day zero with the deployment and design, and then grabbing all this data, single source of truth, extracting that knowledge. And more importantly, as we extract that knowledge, again, the importance here is not multiple sources of truth, where some vendors might talk about day two ops, and they'll talk about, one source of truth that's fed up with stale data. A true single source of truth that we can extract knowledge from, and then continually validate that this is how I intended it to operate as I deployed this network, introducing that reliability into the network that everyone is seeking. And if not, let's alert somebody. Let's resolve the issue. Let's notify somebody. Or before I go to make a change, let's make sure that we notify someone that this change could impact the network. So knowledge retention, single source of truth, this closed loop validation that we're talking about, And this continuous automation and validation, I think that's important for all of us to remember as we go through this. And that automation and validation continues through day 2. And then eliminating outages. And that really is the end result. So as you listen to each of these 4 sessions today that we're excited to share with you, just remember that this is really our foundation that we've laid down